Oh my YouTube, it's been a very long time since I've done a voiceover post commentary video on this channel. And wow, did that sound right? Did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. Anyway, XDefiant is, I guess, this new first person shooter game that's out here, and I'm willing to take a risk on any first person shooter game outside of Call of Duty, just because Call of Duty, I'm slowly but surely getting over it. It has a grip on me, as it does a lot of us. A lot of us can relate that, unfortunately, the only game we load up to play that is a first person shooter will most likely be Call of Duty. But I stepped outside a little bit and I decided to go ahead and try this XDefiant game out. And unfortunately, I like to be organic. I like the organic feel. I want you to experience everything that I experience through my games organically, at the same time I do. And unfortunately, the gameplay you're seeing here actually took place this morning. I've been playing XDefiant since last night, but my OBS was acting very stupid and I couldn't get a good video because I was choppy and laggy and my frame rate was at like 6 while I was recording. It was a very bad experience, so I got aggravated and I turned off OBS, but it led to me to continue playing the game. So the gameplay you're about to see right now is a gameplay that is based off of me actually starting to find my footing in the game, which unfortunately makes me feel like it's less organic because I've already, kind of felt the game out now, instead of you seeing me go through the personal struggle of trying to figure out what this game is and how it is. But as far as the first impressions and as far as how this game has played, it's definitely a different feeling. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of fresh air because it's not Call of Duty. So you don't have to you don't have to load into XDefiant and expect what you expect when you playing the Call of Duty. And it's just like, well, duh, obviously it's not the same game. But if you're anything like me, a lot of first person shooter games in particular, you hold to the standard of Call of Duty. So when you load up into a new first person shooter game, if it doesn't feel like Call of Duty, it would feel bad. If your mindset is as enclosed and contaminated by Call of Duty like mine's is, then you would understand that when you open up any other first person shooter game, that's the feeling that you get. That's the standard you hold the game to. But fortunately for me, I came into this game a little more open-minded, and I played Valorant once before, and this game kind of has elements of Valorant. It has elements of Call of Duty. It has elements of Apex, and it kind of looks like color scheme wise like Overwatch. But I never played Overwatch, so I really don't have any knowledge on that game. But the game itself is pretty good as first impressions. It definitely has enough pizzazz and what's another word I can use? Pizzazz or playback ability to where I will load this game back up the next day to play it and actually be more intrigued to do that instead of the typical, I'm only loading this game back up today because your homeboy or your friend just hit you up and was like, yo, load up Warzone or load up multiplayer so we can grind some weapons, stuff like that. I actually play this game by myself. Now, granted, I don't necessarily play Call of Duty by myself no more like that. But during this gameplay, I also figured and I realized that as I started doing more research on what the actual factions are in this game and things like that, I actually have figured out that there is something that's going to fit me. And unfortunately, I am an LMG user. I don't know if that's good or bad, but in this game in particular, I was running around with the AR in the beginning and I just could not get any kills. I couldn't get any kills at all. Like, I was just getting smoked so bad. But in this gameplay, I decided to say, you know what? Well, the last game of the night, last night, I decided to start using the LMG, and I had like my best game of the series. So now I decided to make an LMG class for myself, and this is probably one of my best games that I've had in this game thus far. And like I said, man, this game has a lot of attributes and things that'll make me come back to this game. I'm definitely probably gonna play this game today as of this recording. And it's just a fresher breath air, man. It's just a fresher breath air. That's really why this game is doing so well, I believe, throughout the community, is because we're so ingrained and just freaking contaminated by Warzone and Call of Duty that we are basically looking for any game to help us try to get our minds off. That's why, look at me falling off the map. That's why Apex Legends has grown its fan base a bit. and XDefiant is growing his fan base a little bit because we need that fresh air. We need that breath of fresh air. And XDefiant, I would definitely recommend it. People who are out there, it's free, it's an open beta. You know, you really ain't got nothing to lose. And why spend and waste your time? You know, why waste a lot of your time in a day playing Warzone? You know what I'm saying? When you be playing this game, you can be playing freely, and this game is not engulfed and just sweating profusely like the Warzone community and the COD community is. You know, this game, so believe it or not, does not allow you to lay down. It doesn't allow you to lay down. You can only crouch. That's the furthest you can go down, is crouching, which means Corner Calvin cannot kill you in the corner because he has to be crouched. We know Corner Calvin likes to lay on his stomach in the corner, and he don't like to move. And then when you run into a room or run into an area, Corner Calvin is just sitting there prone. Corner Calvin can't do that anymore. See how this guy right here was just sitting in the corner? And look, in COD, he would have been Corner Calvin. He would have been laying on his stomach. But in this game, he had to crouch. Crouch now opens up your hit radius to where I can shoot you. You see that there? And then on top of that, people with me, with my type of aim, we can't aim up. You know, my thumbs do not allow me to aim for headshots. So when you're crouching, you actually give me the power to be more powerful because now your face is right where my aiming stability is. You see that there? So that's a plus. That's a plus. Now they do have, it could be XDefiant could be a little bit overwhelming strictly because it's it's not as cut and dry as like, a frag grenade, stun grenade, snapshot grenade, all of that. It's similar, but it just, the way that it looks can be a little bit overwhelming. Because you have so many abilities and factions and different outlines of what's going on, but it's still simple enough to get. It's just different, and most of us don't like different. We don't like things that are different. But that's only because of the contamination of what we've been accustomed to in first-person shooter genres. You know what I'm saying? That's all because of the contamination. But nonetheless, this game does have potential. It has potential. I don't know what it's going to do or how it's going to, how should I say? I don't know if it has enough potential and wavelength to really take some of the COD community again like Apex did. But it definitely has potential. As you can see by what's going on here, they actually notify you in a clearer aspect of what this attachment does and does not do, what it takes away, what it does not take away. You know, the percentages and all that stuff, they actually show you that on the screen instead of the tuning thing where now you have to sit here and you don't know what the percentage is and if it's that big of a hit, and then the tuning just comes in and just negates a lot of stuff. That who tunes a weapon? I should put my attachment on there that is based off of what I want to do, and it should be tuned itself. Why do I need to tune it even more? That's just me, but hey, this is not, I'm sorry that it seems like it's coming into a Call of Duty rant. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be an XDefiant first impression, but XDefiant is just, like I said, man, it's just a breath of fresh air. It feels good to have a game that feels like COD, plays like COD, but it's not COD. You see what I'm saying? It just feels good. It feels very good. You know, look at, you see how I got flashed? Flashbangs only last a quick second. A quick second, you're flashed, you're back on it. You know, you're not flashed for 7 days and 8 hours, and then you have to try to manage to get yourself together after you haven't been able to see for the last couple of seconds. It's flash, boom, a flash, just like that. You see, the word flash means fast, right? You know. Dwayne Wade, his nickname is Flash. Why was he Flash? Because he's fast. The superhero Flash is fast. So why is this flashbang lasting as long as my life? A flashbang should be a flash of white light. Phew, flash, that's it. Just like this game does. This game really capitalized on it. Now this ability right here is very annoying. Because they base their factions off of like certain different games. They had their characters in their factions basically. But you have like the Watchdogs people, Splinter Cell. I can't think of the other names of it. I know it's Watchdogs, Splinter Cell. Now the only reason why I know those two is because those two seem intriguing to me. But the Splinter Cell characters have the intel ability, and they're like intel, and they like hover and scan the thing. They can scan the field, and that ability that you're seeing is basically he's like a UAV. Like he's a personal UAV, but he lights up the whole freaking. It's almost reminiscent to the Apex Legends Bloodhound, how he just can scan the area, and then if you're in his scan radius, he knows exactly where you are. That's what that character does. But they also have other abilities that I started to look at, and I think that Splinter Cell group is actually the one to go because they have an invisibility one, and they also have some abilities where you can do whatever on the map and not come up on the mini map. And I'm a big fan of no mini map coming up on when you have a mini map in your game. So it's cool. It's cool. Hopefully I can come back with another video as I get more and more into it. But unfortunately, first impressions mean nothing in games anymore because the community, the gaming community is very sweaty and everybody's trying to be the next somebody and the next big name, and they want all the attention to them. So I'm pretty sure as I continue to play this game, we get more and more sweaty, and then I might end up having an XDefiant rant. You see this here? Look. See how I'm reading? And see how I'm doing the research on the Splinter Cell people. They real crazy over there. Splinter Cell might be the way to go. Look. Tom Clancy's another one in there. But I hope I did well with this first impression video. I haven't done these in a long time.